My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome. Happy Monday. This is Joe Carlisle, and this is Joe Knows South Lake. How is everybody doing this morning? Man, I'm feeling strong today. I was sick most of last week, actually not feeling good at all for the Thanksgiving holiday, but I just seemed to come around yesterday, and now I'm feeling in the pink. How you feeling today, Jay?
I am Joe. I'm Joe Carlisle. Hello. Hold on. Joe, you always do this to me. I'm not used to the first segment talking to. I normally get spoken to in the second segment. So I'm in the pink. I'm almost in the red.
Almost not in the red.
Not as red as your shirt, but I'm almost in the red.
That's all right. Joe is gonna keep the lockdown on red. Hey, look, I'm just feeling great. I'm ready to go. December is here. I'm already planning for next year. Got myself a new planner. Not sure if it's gonna work, so I got the little tryout size. Gonna try to do something I haven't done. Jump into the whole daily planner thing. We can talk about that some other day. What are we gonna talk about today? It's Cyber Monday. So we're going to talk about that. It is also Christmas time official. Thanksgiving is over. We're going to have a Christmas countdown discussion. We're going to talk on Cup of Joe this week about holiday hectic and maybe how to keep some sanity through this time of year. And finally, we're actually joined today by Keith Young. He is the director of the Adult Lake County Rowing, or he's with the Lake County Rowing Association. He's the adult director and head coach. We are going to talk to him, and I brought him on because there's people always wonder about the boathouse down at the lake, and I thought it's a landmark. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a Monday morning, right? It's a landmark down in that part, and the Rowing Association works out of there. The Rowing Association is doing some really cool stuff to benefit South Lake County and the Claremont area, part of that whole Choice of Champions and the sport tourism going on. So we're going to hear from him. When we get back, we're going to hear from our family of sponsors right now, and when we get back, we'll get started. See you in a minute.
West now pre-leasing 28,900 square feet of commercial, professional office space in Claremont. Conveniently located on Highway 50, less than 2 miles from the Turnpike. A first of its kind in the Southeast, this pristine building creates the perfect blend of nature and modern design. If you seek a high-level image that matches your business, reserve your space today. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease@50west.com.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Bergeron, located in the Epic Theater Shopping Plaza on Highway 27, is the premier destination for gourmet burgers. Using only the freshest ingredients, Burgerum offers a variety of burgers, salads, wings, and a whole lot more. Beef, chicken, lamb, fish, and even veggie. Burgerum has something for everyone, no matter your dietary preference. Millions of possibilities, endless combinations.
Welcome back. Always so good to hear from our family of sponsors. All right, it is Cyber Monday. You know, one of the cool things about Cyber Monday is they're projecting this year to be a record-breaking year. And what Cyber Monday is, we brought this up is so you can see Cyber Monday is actually the start of the online shopping season. And I'm sure a lot of you people have already done some shopping. But Cyber Monday is a good way to get some great deals. Look, you don't have to go through the hassle of going to the store. You can get to Cyber Monday, and this actually, he's going to jump ahead on me on the Christmas countdown. That's right. 22 shopping days left. That's all right. I can mix these two easily. You know, Black Friday used to be the time to get great deals. But, and I can remember when I was a kid, 20s, 30s, Black Friday was a great way to get great deals on great products. As a matter of fact, there were years that if it wasn't for Black Friday, my kids wouldn't have had as big a Christmas as they did. My wife and I could go out and strategically, but Black Friday was different. People didn't get in fist fights in the line. It was kind of a community thing. Everybody shared hot chocolate and, you know, hand warmers. You got together at 5. Of course, stores weren't open all night long either. Oh, here we go. This is some nice, nice Black Friday Christmas cheer there. I know there was a riot somewhere in Chicago. I mean, this is straight up ridiculous, right? But this is how people are today. All right, so you can avoid that by doing the Cyber Monday. Now, my wife is a fan of this. I'm a fan of this. We've already purchased a couple of things from it. Cyber Monday, great way to find some deals. As a matter of fact, I'm fairly sure all of our sponsors also have great Cyber Monday deals going on. So go to their websites. Christmas Countdown. It's official, folks. Thanksgiving weekend is over. For a great number of you, your trees are up. My wife and I use a fake tree, pre-lit. It's already up in the house, well, as you saw on Decoration Defiance from last week. And we're into the shopping season. So keep in mind, you don't have to wait till the last minute. And that actually brings me to holiday hectic. Look, I get it. You know, it's this time of year. You still have your life to run, right? You've got to keep your job going. You've got to keep the kids going to school. Finals are happening. The classes are wrapping up. School's going to be out soon. They're ending the semester. You've got to get to all of the plays, all of the if there's any sports left to do, you've got to wrap everything up. And it just this time. Oh, and then you've got to prepare for Christmas. You've got to get the shopping done. You got to either prepare your house to bring people in or prepare to go visit somebody. Okay. What is the word? Through the woods and over the hills we go. What is that?
I believe it's over the river and through the
over
woods.
the river and through the woods.
I think Grandma's house was
to
the
Grandma's house we'll
destination
go.
that you're searching for, Joe.
That is the phrase I'm searching for, Jay. So here's the real deal, though. I have people in my family, because of the hecticness, literally hate Christmas. They hate Christmas because of all the responsibility they feel there is to spend extra money and to go do things. But you know what? You don't have to feel that stress and bother. For one thing, you can just take a chill pill. You know, it's Christmas. It's not about the stuff. And if you make it about the stuff, you've done something wrong. One of the best things my wife and I ever did years ago was strike upon giving our Christmas away. It was a year that we had finally started to have some stuff and there was some stability in our life. And our kids were teenagers. We thought they were going to fight us on it, or at least resist us. And when we suggested it to them, to accumulate all the money that we would normally spend on Christmas and give it to another family who was needy, who wouldn't have much of a Christmas, they were all in. And they were more than all in. They were like drivers of it, and were drivers of it in years to come. And the cool thing about that was it took all the pressure off of us. All we had to do was have a meal and spend time together. There was a day where getting one present was a big deal. You don't have to do this to yourself. You can have an agreement. Sit down. Talk with the people in your life. Talk with your in-laws. Talk with your brothers and sisters. I mean, do you go crazy not only buying for your family, but for everybody else's? It doesn't need to be like that. Christmas is about peace on earth, goodwill towards men. It should be a joyous time of celebration and love, not a time of stress and hate. So this week we're going to cover Christmas hectic and ways to avoid it. First tip, probably can't use it this year, but you might in a mini fashion. Miss Pat was always really, really good at keeping her eye out all year long for stocking stuffers. Stocking stuffers can be a big thing. It's something people always forget. Look, set a timer, an alarm on your phone every day this month just to be aware of stocking stuffers. You can get a stocking stuffer when you're out in getting your coffee in the morning, or you're out doing your groceries. This can be a great way to save some money and to save some time. If you put it in an alarm on your phone every day, it'll be in your mindset. So the next time, maybe by Friday, you've seen this thing go off 5 times and you're doing your grocery shopping and you see a half dozen things. That way you're not waiting till the Monday before Christmas to do stocking stuffers and you can't find any and they're all gone. That's today's tip for Holiday Hectic. Look, we're going to go to commercial break. We're going to hear from our family of sponsors. And when we get back, we're going to have Keith Young of the Lake County Rowing Association with us. I will see you in just a minute.
Are you tired of having drugs or alcohol ruin your life? Do you need to get off pain pills but still maintain pain relief? My office in Tavares has programs to help you. While not covered by insurance, program fees are affordable. My name is Alan Zupkin. I'm board certified and have helped thousands of patients achieve these goals. Please call me for further information.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Clearmont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
The best things in life aren't items we can grab and hold. They are the moments that grab and hold us. Moments that captivate us, inspire us, and enrich us. Moments that bring joy, strength, and peace. At Sing Insurance and Financial Services, we help you to treasure these times by being there when life's most difficult moments arise. Through our services, you will find independence, flexibility, health, and security that will prosper and protect your life. Whether you are driving that new car, buying that new home, opening that new business, or building a new family, we provide you the peace of mind and freedom to enjoy life's best things. Your next moment is waiting. Are you ready?
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. And welcome back. Always so good to hear from our sponsors. Man, I love my sponsors. And my thankfulness doesn't end with Thanksgiving season. I will be doing my gratitude list, as I've told you to do, I will be doing my gratitude list all year long, especially this time of year. I'm always reminded what I'm grateful for, and all of my sponsors are at the top of that list. Once again, words are not enough to tell you what you mean in my heart. Thank you. Anyways, we are joined by Keith Young.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Keith, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you
really
for having me.
appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Keith is the director and head coach of the adult rowing for the Lake County Rowing Association. He is a former youth, collegiate, and master coach. He's worked with nationally ranked teams in competition. He's doing some amazing stuff. He is also a realtor, one of the few I've allowed on the show. He is also a realtor that works primarily in investing and short-term rentals down in the Kissimmee area. He does a lot of other stuff, but that's the bulk of his business. I wanted to bring Keith on because the truth is, this is the first time I've met Keith. I met his wife when we were doing the Share Day, had a great conversation. She talked about what you do. You got a real champion there.
She is amazing.
She is one of your champions,
Oh, yeah,
man.
definitely.
She is she's more than a cheerleader.
Yeah.
She's your champion. Keith, tell us a little bit. I mean, how do you say rowing and you get this idea from some Ivy League movie about, guys that are getting persecuted, and tell us how you got involved in rowing.
So when I went off to college, which was just down the road here at UCF, I had done sports in college, and then I showed up on campus, wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. And my academic advisor happened to also be the rowing coach at University of Central Florida. He's kind of a legend in this state, what we call one of the godfathers of rowing in this state. And
rowing has a godfather.
Yeah, exactly. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Do you have to kiss his oar?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so I walked into his office and I saw all these trophies, and as they say, the rest was history. I was hooked.
Yeah. And so you rowed in college?
I did.
You rowed in
rowed
college?
for UCF, and did a little bit of rowing up north as well, and just has always stayed a passion of mine. So the nice thing about rowing is it's a place where people can go into it. If they rowed in college, they can continue to do it later on in life. And there's all kinds of different age groups and intensity levels. I've been.
Do you know that was actually going to be my question, because I think there is a concept, particularly with a lot of college sports. I mean, we think football. If you play football in college, it's really hard to play competitive football if you're not drafted for a team. Tennis is something you can do on your own. Mm-hmm. So there are sports you can continue on your own, but rowing seems to be equipment heavy, and it's, you require a team. Is there a lot of organization for it? I mean, is it just kind of undercover? You have to be in it to know about it?
Well, sometimes it kind of goes, like you said, undercover, because people aren't seeing it if they're not near a body of water. That's one of the amazing things about the Claremont, the lake there and the boathouses. People can see it as they go along the trail. But there's actually a lot of clubs in the state of Florida and throughout the United States that have a combination of people who might have done it in high school and college, and now they're continuing it as a sport for life, or people who learned it, later in adult life, and in a matter of months, they're out there already racing. There are competitions in the spring and the summer for adults, and the nice thing about it is, think of it kind of like golf, where it has a handicap system, is you can have people of different ages rowing against each other, even down to a single person boat, one athlete in a boat, or as large as 8 rowers and the person who steers it in a boat, but it's age handicap. So a boat whose average age is 30 has got to beat the boat whose average age is 60 by quite a bit in order to beat them.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something, and we've talked about this college thing. If you play a sport and you want to get interested in a sport, if you want to get interested in this, you brought up golf. Mm-hmm. If you want to try golf, you got to lay out some money, right? I mean, as opposed to if you want to get into running, it's the cost of a pair of sneakers.
Exactly.
Is it an expensive sport? I mean, if somebody has a child who's interested, is it, I've spent a lot of money for my kids to try something for 6 weeks that, they didn't follow
Well, I would
through
say
with.
to get started, it's really not. And then probably once if the Lake County Rowing Association does have a middle school program as well as a high school youth program, and it's grown just in the last 4 years from like 11 athletes to 95 athletes. Wow. So it's grown quite a bit. But I wouldn't say it's any more or any less than any sport that requires some level of equipment, some level of time commitment, some travel, 4 or 5 races a year that you're spending the day at a race site, something like that. So it's not really any different than that.
So because I think to most of our viewers, rowing is a sport that's a little foreign to them. Give us an idea of what the kind of time commitment. I mean, obviously you said 5 races. If I'm a runner,
right,
I could do 30 races in a year,
right,
or I can do 10 races in a year and not even have a drop in the bucket. It sounds like 5 races is a good season.
Yeah, well, it's kind of...
What's the time commitment as far as like training? And, I think we have this image that, 4 a.m. and...
Sure. Well, first, let me just say that especially when it comes to adult rowing, there's not necessarily a commitment to have to do it at a high performance racing level. So on the youth side, the middle school side, they're kind of developing their skill set, and they might kind of finish a season with a race. On the youth side, it is competitive. So it's something that, just like any athlete in high school would do, there's competitions involved. On the adult side, it's all the way from recreational, hey, I just want to get out, get my heart rate up, smell the fresh air, get out on the water, and I'm not going to compete and get my body moving, all the way to, hey, that boat next to me needs to go down, and it matters if I win or I lose type of thing. And there's something everywhere in that spectrum in between there.
So tell us a little bit about rowing. Does it require a team? Is it an individual
Great
thing,
question.
Or?
So without getting too much into the weeds, there's kind of 2 types. You either have one big oar, which always requires for symmetry to be partnered up with somebody else. And that comes in flavors like a 2-person boat, a 4-person boat, an 8-person boat. But then there's also sculling, where each person has 2 oars. And the nice thing about that is it can be down to a single boat. So you could go out there and row by yourself, or if you want to row with some friends, maybe you just want to paddle around, race each other, or scrimmage each other out on the lake for a little bit, and then go have a cup of coffee.
So what is more popular, the sculling individual or the team rowing?
It's interesting because as people evolve later in life, their schedules get busier and busier. So there's flexibility with the sculling that they can kind of go out on their own. But there's also that unique dynamic of shared focus and if the heart rate's up and you're really pulling hard together, some shared suffering. Especially in some of my practices as the coach, sometimes, I like to try to push people just a little bit beyond where they think they could go. And then they kind of get on the other side of it and go, wow, I didn't know I had the capacity to do that. So that's kind of fun.
Do you find most people do a mix of the two? Do they do some sculling and some team, or do you tend to lean towards one or the other?
Yeah, if they did it in college, most likely they were only doing that one or what we call sweep rowing. So now they're expanding their skill set maybe into sculling with an oar each. And if they learned it later in life, they've probably been exposed to both. We usually do our classes, and we have one coming up in December, and you'll be able to see it on the website. It's called Adult Learn to Row. So we give you the basics of how to row. We put you out in a boat, do some stuff on land and stuff like that. But we usually do that because we can do it in a larger boat and facilitate more people in that where it's one oar at a time. But then later, as they kind of develop their skill set, they might want to try out doing something with sculling where they get an oar each hand.
I want to ask, obviously you look at a guy like me, okay, I'm very overweight. Is rowing something that I want to say, well, the doctor said I should start exercising, or do I have to have a certain fitness level before I jump in?
The first one. So it's really something for everybody at every level. So when we do our Learn to Rows, there's enough to learn with regards to the equipment and all that kind of stuff. There's enough to learn that it could be somebody who's been doing a triathlon schedule for 20 years, really fit, to somebody who's just getting off the couch, and everything in between. And then as they kind of progress, they can kind of go into whatever levels of intensity they want to go. So it really is something that is for everybody. It's a total body exercise.
All right. Look, this is fascinating. I've loved learning about rowing. We are actually going to hear from our sponsors because I want to ask you some questions about the program here in Lake County, right here on Minnehaha at the boathouse and everything.
Cool.
I think are we going to go to break? Or are we going to go to the site? We're going to go to break. Okay. We're going to hear from our sponsors when we get back. Keith's going to tell us about what's going on with rowing right here in our community. So don't go away. This is a unique sport you can take part in. We'll see you in a minute. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.
West now pre-leasing 28,900 square feet of commercial professional office space in Claremont. Conveniently located on Highway 50, less than 2 miles from the Turnpike. A first of its kind in the Southeast, this pristine building creates the perfect blend of nature and modern design. If you seek a high-level image that matches your business, reserve your space today. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease@50west.com.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Claremont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories.
Hello, my name is Michael Singh with Singh Insurance and Financial Services. Our goal is to build trust based on a clear understanding of how your insurance policy protects you, your family, and even your business. When was the last time you took a good hard look at your insurance coverage? Would you be open to the possibility of reviewing your policy with me? One review of your policy can save you valuable time and money. Call me today to set up a review of what may be available to you.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. And welcome back. Look, we are joined by Keith Young of the Lake County Rowing Association. Just filled us in about, actually quite fascinating. I didn't know that rowing really was something for everybody. Again, in my mind, it was that image of the college guy, Princeton, Dartmouth, but really isn't. It's a common man sport.
It really is.
Tell me a little bit. We were talking about that earlier. The first question I have here is, who is rowing for? And you delved into this a little bit, but is it for anybody, any age?
Absolutely.
Do you have people who are like older and people my age and guys in their 20s?
Yeah.
Men, women, both? Does it fit all ranges?
Yeah, we have, I think I'd mentioned before, we've got middle school and youth programs. They have their kind of separate programs as far as their coaches and their times. And then we have adult rowing. So from people into their 20s all the way to people in their 70s, 80s. I've been to races with people in their 90s before. So men, women, lots of athletic background, zero athletic background, everything in between. So
you talked about the handicapping earlier, and do you handicap for fitness level, or do you just put people? Is it kind of like boxing? Am I going to box with people my age, my size, my weight?
It's gonna be with people of the same sex. However, there are some races where they do them combined, where it's a mixed boat, men and women, and but it's going to be with people where your average age is handicapped. There's like a national handicapping system type of thing. So,
Kind of like running.
yeah, exactly.
running.
Yeah. And so you could be in a boat with somebody who's 60 and incredibly fit, and you could have somebody who's 30 and people in between, and whatever that average age of that boat is. But that's just
So
on
you're
the
not
competition
groping
side.
people who are like in their 40s or all in one boat. I mean, you might have a guy like you said who's
Yeah.
60, a guy who's 30. The average is going to be 45.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody who's in their 60s or 70s, they might really still make a boat move quite well, because there's some skill involved as you do this over a period of time. There's some finesse involved. So
Now, I think Jay's going to bring us to the website here. Is there any way for us to figure that? This is over your shoulder. If you want to take a look at what he's got up there, help us navigate through that.
Sure. Well, on the left-hand side, there's a big gray button for our upcoming December Learn to Row.
Oh, good.
And if it doesn't work in everybody's schedule, we're actually going to have another one that's in January. I know December is kind of a tough time of the year, but if
Holiday
if you've got some
hectic.
time, exactly, you nailed it. But on that point, sometimes self-care is kind of one of those things, and building in a regimen of exercise, getting out and getting some fresh air can be the kind of life balance stuff that people need to bring into them, for themselves or their loved ones. So, but that adult learning button, adult learn to row button is there, and they can find out more about who we are, how we operate, what we're trying to do as far as the adult rowing program comes, and they can sign up there as well.
Great.
But there's also stuff there about some of the programs that we offer, especially what this club has focused on since its inception back in 2011.
Is that somewhat represented by your Facebook page?
The Facebook page has a lot of pictures with regards to some of the recent youth rowing and training. Again, as I mentioned, it's a program just in 4 years that's grown from 11 to 95, including athletes who get college scholarships because of how well they've done. But it also includes some of the partnerships that we've done with teams internationally and from up north who come and train here in the winter and in the spring when they couldn't get on the water otherwise. And part of that is the partnership that was created initially with Lake County and Claremont to enhance tourism here, to bring additional sports and activities there along the waterfront as the Claremont area has been developed along the South Lake Trail, and to kind of fulfill, if you will, the moniker of Claremont as Choice of Champions. So,
Do you know, I'm glad you brought that subject up, because we were talking earlier and you talked about recruiting. One of the cool things that's really unique about South Lake County's attempt to build a sport tourism area is it's unlike other places in Florida who tend to rely on things like water skiing, boating, strict boating, maybe some parasailing. It's not those grand, not necessarily those grand adrenaline junkie things. It tends to lean towards a different demographic.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of cool because this tends to, something like rowing tends to lean into, I think, that triathlete. And now that you told me about rowing, that fits all,
right,
all fitness levels, that
And-
if you
and
want to come here and get fit,
exactly,
this is another option.
You hit the nail on the head, because you could have somebody who's exclusively doing rowing, but maybe somebody just wants to add it into their lifestyle. So maybe they're already running, they're already cycling, they're swimming. Maybe they want to add in some time on a land rower, a rowing machine, or they want to get out on the water. It can be just part of their total cross-training package that they're doing all the time.
Now, you talked a little bit about recruiting. Recruiting for teams and competitions. You mentioned a kayaking association just left. Tell us a little bit about how you do that. What's
You're talking about teams to come and train
teams
here?
to come,
Right.
and competitions to come? Is there a move to get some sort of at least statewide or national competition here that might be recognized on ESPN or something like that?
Exactly. So there are some regattas that take place here in the state of Florida at some different venues, both for adults and for but for youth. But we actually are one of only 2 sites in the state of Florida of which we have a fully buoyed 2,000 meter Olympic style course. We don't have it in the water right now, but it'll be going in the springtime, and it's actually there in the lake all the time, but the little buoys haven't been put in. But we have that's there for teams who come and train here, as well as for regattas that we're continuing to look to expand, to bring teams to come race here. We're actually going through a renovation of putting in some new seawall and docks along there to support a larger number of teams that would come here and train and stuff.
Is that part of the whole reworking plan of Claremont and
Absolutely.
South Lake, and part of the trail connection attraction?
That whole path from Waterfront Park all the way around to the 8th Street Pier and all the construction you see there going there to Victory Way, that beautiful water park, or for that stormwater runoff initiative. I mean, that's just gorgeous. And then we've got the Claremont Boathouse, which it kind of caps it there along that side. But bringing teams into the area, teams from up north internationally, we just said goodbye, although they're coming back in a couple months, to the Danish national kayaking team. That's a big part of what we're looking to do. And that really supports what you were mentioning is Claremont and Lake County's initiative to bring heads into beds and enhance that tourism here, where people are coming to play here, train here, compete here, and they spend money at restaurants and in hotels.
It's really funny. I don't think people many times understand when they resist things like that, those changes and those improvements, the economic impact that can be brought to this by the recognition of one team that makes the podium at an Olympics.
Yeah.
If they've trained here, suddenly everybody's going to be training here. It's just the way it works. You talked a little bit about the boathouse, and I know that there's been some officials that done a great job as far as being partners, and tell me a little bit about how that's working, because it's so easy to walk by it or run by it or drive by it, and you go, who gets to use that?
Right.
But it really is a facility for the community, isn't it?
Absolutely. As a 501c3 organization, when the club was founded in 2011, it was some athletes who were rowing in Orlando and having to make that commute. And then they started talking with some other people here in Lake County, including a former rower and Lake County Representative Sean Parks. And so they started having this discussion, especially based around Claremont having this really unique, having a downtown on a waterfront with a path. Like, where else in the state of Florida does that exist? Add in the hills, and it doesn't. So with that uniqueness came the idea of taking what was a group of adults and saying, what if we were to do this thing of having a boathouse? And in response to that, they said that would be great. It would publicize the waterfront area, as well as be a place where these teams could come and train from around the United States and around the world. So.
We have something up here. I think this is from your Facebook page. The boathouse.
So you can see that kind of the inside of it, holding those boats that are in there. And some of the youth out there training as well.
Is that what they're doing? That looks like they're doing some hard stuff right up there on the right.
I think they're planking is what
planking.
And it's not necessarily for fun. I think they're training there, exactly. Doing some running, and they're on rowing machines that are there in the boathouse as well. That might have been a session where they were teaching people to learn before they go out on the boats.
Right, look, here's another picture. Who is this? Do you know?
This is also going to be youth as well, that is part of the youth group there. I think probably on our page, if you go to the main website and you type in /adult rowing, there's some pictures on there as well of some of our adults who have been at competitions and get-togethers, and they also do a lot of stuff together with regards to heading up into downtown and enjoying a cold beverage together. And cookouts.
Here we go. Here's some of those pictures now.
Yeah, there's some great stuff where you can see that's boats on a trailer at a competition. So at the end of the day, with some hardware around their neck and some medals, they got a chance to race with each other.
Do you know what's really cool? I've been down there when they have some of the races, some of the runs, some of the swims, some of the triathlon, and it's amazing to me the number of people I mean, we got national things going on down there, or not. They're not national races. They're qualifiers for national racers.
Right.
And do you have anything like that coming up? I mean, it's just amazing to me, the number. It's not just, and I want people to understand, it's not just the participants in the race.
Right.
It's all the people who come to support them.
Exactly.
It's the teams. A lot of these teams have support teams.
Right.
It's like you said, heads in beds. It's
Sure.
the hotels. It's the restaurants. It's the shops. It's the things they're going to pick up. I mean,
Exactly.
someday people will pick up a souvenir from Claremont.
That's right.
Do you have any competitions coming up?
We're going to have some in the spring. Right now, this is kind of our the doldrums of winter. If you can say that about Florida, it slows down a little bit. But by the time we get into March and into April and May, we'll have some competition, especially probably around
That
the
tend to
April
be your
time.
competition season, late spring?
Yeah, late spring, and for the adults, even into the summer. It's kind of capped off at the end of the year with a national championship, which I think is in California this year. But nonetheless, we'll get into some competition stuff as well, and you're going to start to see a lot more teams from other parts of the United States training out there along the lake.
So
as well.
are they? Are those events scheduled on your website?
Not
Are
yet.
they
Not yet. We're penciling in some times. Actually, it's a very busy time throughout the state, and trying to find an open weekend where some teams who aren't going to a certain race would want to collect and come here. So that'll be updated here.
I'm sure it's a time to coordinate also with that waterfront. It's a very busy time for them because it's a good time for races and all sorts of
And
things.
we also have our cardboard classic competition that goes on as well during the summer. If you've seen that
Yes,
before.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, so that takes place, I believe, towards the beginning of August. We'll have that updated, but that's just a fun time for people to get together and just be silly.
You know, I want to encourage people to keep an eye out for this because even if you're just interested, it's again something that's really cool. It's a free afternoon. You go watch.
Yeah.
It can be a lot of fun. It's one of the things I think is really, really cool about our community is you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money.
No.
You know, to go be entertained, have a great time. You get out into the sun, get out into the weather a little bit, you know, take your family out. It's a great time. Parking is still an issue, but that's for the city fathers to figure out.
but
you know.
with some of the spaces at both of the boat ramp that's coming in and the boat ramp that's existing right now, there's some extra space there. So
Well, and again, once all of that gets finished,
exactly.
you know, we're all dealing with. I know I was upset last year. I went down for the. I actually went down to enjoy the beach the day of the fireworks, and they literally had all the parking blocked off at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
8 o'clock in the, I get you need it, but
Right.
8 o'clock in the morning for
Exactly.
9 o'clock. So they'll work all that out.
Sure.
You know, I'm sure that'll all be. I was really upset about that. My wife actually had to say, honey, it's 1 year,
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Chill out. So
That's funny.
Is it what I'm going to be telling people to do all week? Take a chill pill because you don't want to be holiday hectic.
Exactly.
Keith, thanks for joining
Thanks
me,
a lot,
man.
Joe. I appreciate it. I had a great time. Thank you for having
Terribly
me.
educational.
Yeah, and we would
terribly
love to
fun.
have people go check it out on the website, and even if you just want to stop by sometime when you're doing your exercising along the trail, stop by and ask us some questions, and we'd be glad to show you around the boathouse. But definitely come out and try out a Learn to Row.
Oh, I love that. Hey, I'm going to direct you over here to this camera and tell people how to get in touch with you if they want to take part, if
Sure.
they want to help. I think Jay's going to bring your information up
Sure.
right there. Go ahead.
If you're
This is your
interested
camera.
in adult rowing, you can call or text to the number that's on the screen there, as well as there's an email address. Again, we have adult Learn to Row sessions coming up in December, as well as in January. To kind of start the year off. But if you've got a student who's in middle school or in youth, they're still looking at developing students even for competition coming up into this season, and they can go to rowlcra.org and get more information and to get in touch with the coaching staff.
And on a side note, I got to tell you that through personal experience, don't be afraid to put your child in a sport that's
Yes.
not considered, you know, this big, that's other than basketball or football. You know, I had children that went to school on scholarships, on sports. I mean, they may not have been full rides,
Right.
but they helped. You know, I
And
had
what
a
they
son that went on a
learn-
cross-country scholarship,
Yeah.
you know.
And what they learn with each other, that interdependence that goes on at that level, is just really critical. And even for some young ladies, occasionally the chance to go to a college
Yep.
on a scholarship.
And, you know, here's the thing. Your kid might find something they love and becomes a passion for life. I mean, obviously, Keith's a
Happen
whole
to me.
lot more fit than I am, you know, because I didn't discover rowing.
Yeah. Well, we need to get you out
And
on the boat.
I eat a lot of crap. So that's for another day. Look, Keith has been a great guest. I
Thanks
really
again.
appreciate
I
you,
appreciate
man.
you, Joe. Thank you.
Look, if you know anybody that should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, I need you to reach out to me. I know Jay has the information up. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me, you can private message me through Facebook. I check all of it mostly every day, so don't be upset if I don't get right back to you. But please reach out to me. We always want to have amazing people from the community, and the best way to get those people is just like I got Keith. I met his wife, and his wife said, hey, you ought to talk to my husband. They're doing some great things. Sure enough, couple of texts later. I think we even had one phone call. We had
Yeah,
one phone
exactly.
call. One phone call, a couple texts later. An amazing guest. Really appreciate him informing us about what's going on. If you know anybody that should be advertising here, and I'm telling you, you should be advertising here. No better way to brand your business directly to the South Lake County community than to be on South Lake TV. You can sponsor this show. You can sponsor some of our sports programs, some of our city community programs. We have all sorts of stuff. We can customize something for your business with a message to your customers or to the customers you want to reach. Don't miss this opportunity. Affordability is the key word when we're talking about South Lake TV. All right. With that said, I want to remind you there is greatness inside you. And as Christmas rolls around, it's doubly important to do just as Keith has used his greatness to be a coach and bring out the greatness in others. I dare you to use your greatness to bring out the greatness in others. You won't regret it. I will see you tomorrow, and I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe Knows South Lake. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.